Today's story comes out of an undisclosed location. So anyhow, years ago, I received a call from a white lady. She's just off her rocker. She's just going bananas. And I'm trying to comprehend what she's saying, and it's not registering because she's just rambling on, la, 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 you know. And when she finally calmed down, she told me that this guy that she's seeing has stopped calling her. He's just gotten ghosts. So she asked me about this spirit called the intranquil spirit. Now, in Haitian culture, we refer to this spirit as Marinette Pied Sèche, right? For her situation, I felt like this is a stubborn individual, and this is the best spirit for the job. So we have a conversation. I give her the details. I explain to her, you know, the things that can happen. And I let her know that if this guy is playing around, there's going to be a lot of crazy things that's going to begin to happen in his life. In this contract, this contrat, you're free to do what you want. It's not like a binding job where, you know, you can't go out there and, you know, have interactions with the opposite sex, meaning sexual activity. So anyhow, we agree to terms, and she sends over the documents that I need to proceed with my job, and I go into my work, my laboratory, and I conduct my research. You know, I gotta look into this individual to see what he's all about. And I go into work and I summon the spirit. So now I ship out what I need the client to take care of. I give her the instructions on what I need her to do. Now, time goes on. She calls me up and she tells me that the guy contacted her. So I'm just like, okay, well, I'm glad that has occurred. So time goes on. This guy, becomes a little erratic. He starts showing up, you know. Come to find out, in the midst of this, yes, he's acting erratic, but he's showing the client attention. In the midst of this erratic behavior, this obsession, yeah, I want to see you. We find out somehow it's been so long that, you know, I did this job. For me to recall all the details, pardon me, because I may be missing out some points, but I'll try to give you the best that I can grasp from my recollection. I believe somehow we found out that he was involved with a lady. Now, that wasn't an issue to me because the rule still stands. When you're in a contract like this, if you are messing around with someone else, that spirit is going to punish you. And so what we found out was true. I believe this guy was actually married. Now the client continues to deal with this individual, knowing what the situation is. You know, well, she was led on that this guy was involved. And later down the line, I find out that the client is also married. Holy fucking shit. Right. You find that out and she tells me that I'm married as well. And this is why I tell people a spiritualist needs all the details so we know what's going on, so we know how to address this. A reading is not 100%. A reading is, listen, we're human beings. Even if we do a reading, it doesn't mean that we're going to be a 100%. If that was the case, we'd be considered God. We are human beings. We are not intelligent on that type of level. To be, how could I say this? To be void of error. That's impossible. So it's always wise to tell a spiritualist everything. Now, if you're getting a reading done, I don't recommend it. I mean, after the reading, you can go into details and explain to the spiritualist what they've seen, to give them details to help them out. But withholding information is really is going to cause problems in the long run. Like they say, omission of the truth is a lie. So in this scenario, I got to look at it like this. The rule still applies, but unlike a binding situation, as I said earlier, this client cannot get punished because she's free to do what she wants to do. But on the end of the target, man, this guy is going crazy. He's over there like, oh my God, I want to be with you. And when I think I'm moving ahead of myself. I think she brought it to his attention and they came to an agreement that they were going to leave each other's lover. So she had an agreement with the guy, he's gonna eventually leave his wife and she's gonna eventually leave his husband. So that was that. They're continually seeing each other. This guy is going crazy. See, one thing I say to people that's involved in third-party relationships, if you're working on someone who's involved with someone, when that person starts going crazy, you need to gather their head, get their head together, talk to them, because these people, they're going to make a lot of mistakes. And if you're trying to make a clean break from a relationship, doing things that will offset it early could be a problem. When you're trying to separate from someone, especially if you're married, there can be penalties if a person cheats for divorce, infidelity. So you want to be very careful when you're engaging in such activities. So this client, she's not telling the guy, hey, clear out your messages, Now, this guy is going crazy saying, I don't care about my wife. I get a call. This lady's like, oh my God, Leonard, oh my God. This guy's wife was attacked by a chimpanzee. Jesus Christ. I'm like, what do you mean she's been how does a woman get attacked by a chimpanzee? Seriously, does that even make any sense? How does a woman get attacked by a chimpanzee? I'm trying to figure this shit out. Because out of nowhere, listen, if you're viewing this, for viewers watching this video, you're probably going to be like, what the fuck? That was so out of the fucking norm. How do you get attacked by a chimpanzee? How does a chimpanzee even fit into this story? So to give you guys a little context, the lady's into animals. She actually owned a chimpanzee. I don't have all the details to know how long she had it, but she was an owner of a chimpanzee. It's crazy. So, I'm just, me telling the story, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Because I just gave you a rundown and all of a sudden I tell you, this guy's wife gets attacked by a chimpanzee. So the client sent me the pictures, bloody. I can't post the pictures up here, but maybe I'll probably use some footage to give you an illustration, but not, directly from that situation. But I would say this, the pictures were graphic. I'm talking about, man, I'm surprised this didn't make these horrific documentaries, because there's tons of documentaries where women have been disfigured by chimpanzees. You know, for those of you who don't know, chimpanzees has the strength of multiple human beings. That one chimpanzee you see that may be 4 feet tall, that chimpanzee has a strength of probably like 5 men. And for this little old lady to get tore up by this chimpanzee, well, the damage that was done was more to her, like chest area in below, you know. But yeah, that chimpanzee ripped her up whatsoever. But listen, this is what I'm talking about. When you're in that, when you're working with a spirit like the intrinsic spirit, if they see a third party messing with your relationship, they can do something to that person the individual is with. Getting back to where I was at, you know, we find out that situation happened, and I guess he's, you know, running the story down. But this guy is like, I want to see you. I want to see you still. I want to come see you. What? Your wife has just been mangled by a chimpanzee and you're talking about going to see the client. Are you fucking serious? But then again, when that spirit is on someone, it'll make them do irrational shit. Shit that don't make any sense. Your wife has just been tore up by a chimp, and here you're talking about, you know, I want to go see this client. I'm talking about horrific, graphic stuff, man. I mean, back in the day, I think I posted some of those pictures, I think in a video a long time ago, and definitely YouTube took the video down, you know, as a review. But this situation occurring, this guy, he's jonesing. He still wants to see the client when this happened. So anyhow, this guy end up calming down the situation end up getting taken care of. The wife ends up getting surgery and all this good stuff, and time goes on. They're seeing each other, they're having a good old time. This guy, I believe he left his phone somewhere, and the wife actually saw all the messages. So you know what the wife does? She gets up on social media, and to be honest, I think the wife actually knew the woman. She actually knew the woman. And what she did was she went on social media, put their relationship on blast, her husband's relationship on blast. And I believe she reached out to the client's husband and told the husband what was going on. See, this is what I mean. When you're doing stuff like this and the person starts tripping, you need to pull that person back and have a talk with them and let them know, hey, you know, you need to chill out, you know, make sure you clean up after yourself, you know, dot all your I's and cross all your T's, and make sure everything is okay. You know, make sure, you know, there's no evidence or anything like that. Well, when these people get when the spirit's on them, they get very sloppy. You know, so this is why I always say to people, you want to make sure you guide that person, because that person can become very obsessive and they don't care about what's going on at home. And if they're trying to break away from a third party, especially if they're married, there could be consequences for doing such. So anyhow, in the long run, with this situation happening, all the stuff that happened online, the client ended up saying she don't even want to do the work anymore. She's done. She tapped out because all that shit was on social media. The pressure for her was just too much. You know, someone gets online, they blast your infidelity, your husband finds out about it, the whole community that y'all live in, because they lived in close proximity. So the whole community knows about the infidelity. So again, the client ended up tapping out. And she just basically said she wanted to turn the job off and stop it. So, what do I have to say about this? Well, there's a couple of things I would say that was wrong. And I would say, first and foremost, when you're dealing with a spiritualist, you want to be honest with them. You want to give them all the details as to what they're looking at. You know, I don't care how much readings a person does, it's never going to be as sharp as a person giving you the full rundown themselves, especially when they already have the details. If anything, a reading to me is a form of confirmation. It confirms what you already know or what you already believe. And number two, if you're dealing with a third party that's involved with someone else, or if they're married, I recommend that you guide the person's mind, because sometimes when you got them where you want them, they begin to become obsessive. And when they begin to become obsessive, they start making mistakes. And when they make these mistakes, and especially if they're married, there can be penalties when the divorce comes around. So, with that said, I hope this video was informative as well as entertaining. Please, jot down your opinions, what you think about this story. I'll see y'all guys in the next one.